Hi everyone, I'm here at Jaeger-LeCoultre's with Matthew Sarre. Good to see you again, Matthew.
Thank you very much, Teddy. Happy to have you.
In front of us, very much, a lot of reversos.
Yes.
But some good reversos, some amazing reversos, and I want to talk about them today. So could you
you,
walk
Teddy.
us through, and I think where to begin. There's a lot of new watches that we see this week, but this is one that I wanted to see in flesh. New Chronograph, Reverso.
Yes.
I'm intrigued, I want to hear more.
Of course. So 2023 is a big year for Reverso for Jaeger-LeCoultre, and we wanted to reinvent a complication that is very dear to us. Of course, Reverso was born a sport watch, so we wanted to work with the quintessential sport complication, and it's of course the chronograph. But a chronograph is really hard to reinvent in a rectangular shaped watch because the chronograph has those indications, around the dial, those round indications. So we completely reinvented the chronograph with this watch. So on the front face, you have this beautiful and clean tribute dial with the dolphin hands, the indexes, and a beautiful blue sunray. And when you swivel the watch, you reverse it and you turn it, you have this amazing chronograph, which is, of course, fully integrated chronograph, but completely reinvented. At the center, you have this blue seconds that is running and counting the second of the chronograph. And at 6 o'clock here, you have this 30-minute counter, which is cut. So it's half of a counter, and it's actually a retrograde. So the hands will count the minutes from 0 to 30, and when it hits 30, will come back in a
snap back to zero.
Yes, set back to zero.
I'm sure there was challenges within a square movement for a chronograph. I mean, you had to, what was the process for doing this?
Really, what we had to do was we redesigned fully this chronograph, integrate movement, and we worked with amazingly long levers for this chronograph because they span the full height of the movement for a rectangular timepieces, because we wanted to use the full length and the full volume of the chronograph of the case and not miss anything to reduce the height as much as possible. So we worked with a clutch, horizontal clutch,
yep.
to gain weight, and of course that's column wheel. And you can see, basically, we didn't hide everything. You can see all the mechanics here.
You can see the clutch activate. You can see column wheel left of the indicator.
Yes.
That was beautiful. And do you have the estimated thickness of this?
So this will be a little more than 11 millimeter in thickness.
That's incredible.
Including the cradle, because of Reverso, for sure, you count the cradle, which adds some thickness. But we really wanted to have something extremely wearable. Of course, this is manual, as maybe every Reverso should be. And beautiful open work. We worked really on the finishings. The anglage has been done on all the part of the bridges. And we also worked definitely to have the Geneva stripes. And it tells time on both sides, of course, so you can wear it on the front and on the back.
And gold and stainless steel, correct?
It's available in gold and stainless steel with different dials. In gold, it's a beautiful black with always the sunray finish.
So moving right along, some new Reversos, tribute series, but thinner cases.
Yes, we wanted to get as close as the original Reverso. And Reverso, when it was first created in 1931, that was a big revolution for many things. First, wristwatches were still in their infancy, so watches were moving from pocket to wrist. And I suppose that they felt at the time that the rectangular case sat much more nicely on the wrist, like following the curve of the wrist. So what we really wanted to do is something that you forget that you are actually wearing a watch with something really thin. So we worked for this simple Reverso with closed case back like the original Reverso. They're 7 millimeter thin. So it's really thin. It's the thinnest expression that we can have. And of course, Reverso was also born with color dials, notably the black dial. Then they were calling it the dial of the future. And it's still the case today. It's still beautiful. So we feature this black dial with these indexes, the tribute look. And we also feature it with silver sunray and burgundy sunray in deep lacquer, the original dial colors of Reverso.
All lacquer dials, you said? You said it was 7 millimeters?
7.5
7.5 millimeters.
So including the cradle, so it's extremely thin. You completely forget. It's so ergonomic. It sits so nicely on the wrist. It's like the original idea behind Reverso.
No, it's stunning. No, it's a dream.
And we also feature, of course, straps, which are designed by Casa Fagliano.
With the Polo connection?
Yes, with the Polo collection, a Polo bootmaker that we have partnered with for more than a decade now, and they've designed those straps, and now we feature it with the association between canvas and leather, which is very brand new and beautiful, and adds to the Polo connections, of course, of the Reverso.
Extending into further complications, we see chronographs, tourbillon as well.
Tourbillon. Again, a type of challenge that you have with Reverso and that Jaeger-LeCoultre love is to reinvent a complication which is, historic in fine watchmaking, but you have to reinvent it with Reverso. What do you have to reinvent tourbillon? Because tourbillon, you want to see the tourbillon on both sides.
Yeah.
So you want to see in the front and you want to see in the back. So we had to really get rid of any bridges that comes in the way. And tourbillon is sat usually on a back bridge. So we removed this and we replaced it by a ball bearing external cage, carrier cage. So you see actually the tourbillon from the front and from the back beautifully. And we went further and created a tourbillon that actually has no upper bridge. So the hairspring is attached to the balance wheel actually. And so we had to redesign completely the hairspring for this. It's designed in the shape of an S, so the coils doesn't touch each other. And it's just an amazing and extremely thin tourbillon. This watch is only 9 millimeter in thinness.
Were there any additional considerations with the tourbillon, given the chassis and how it has, the whole case can rotate? Were there any thoughts around just challenges with maintaining that level of just oscillation and rotation of the cage?
It's just a way to, what we were thinking the most was to have the most transparency. So have to have a fully flying tourbillon. And you have the flying tourbillon because you can have a tourbillon with no back bridge. But here we wanted double flying. So flying with no back bridges, and the upper bridge also is removed. So it's really completely flying, like the hairspring appears like it is flying, literally.
And everything is on display. That's stunning.
And the back has been decorated, of course, with our métier art savoir-faire. So the type of finishing on the gold bridges that you see on the back is called clou de Paris. And this is made by hand on our century-old guillochage machine in-house. So you have to cut all the grooves and everything is hand-finished. And a little extra feature that we have on this watch, which is just amazing. If you open the watch, you see here at the back a circle that is mirror polished. And so it is meant to shine as much light as possible through the tourbillon.
So when you shoot light to the front of the watch, it will reflect back at you.
It will reflect back, yeah.
So it's creating a balanced light for the tourbillon.
Exactly.
That's brilliant. Amazing. And I want to close with one other piece, because we were fortunate enough to go through your manufacturer, see these different arts being done in your different studios. So I want to talk about this Reverso piece, because this is very special in showcasing many of those.
This is very special. I think Reverso was a watch that was created initially for men's and ladies at the same time. It was thought this way. So we left in this program, we didn't leave out the gem setting and the enameling, and those are all in-house, so they're very dear to us. So this watch, we call it the precious color. It's really a blend of all the what we call métier in French, which means rare handcrafts that we have in our manufacture, and they're all in the same atelier, so they work really together to create this piece. We're inspired by Art Deco patterns with these, colors that are built together, these geometric colors, but it's very hard to have actually geometric shapes done by hands, and we didn't want to do the champ levé technique, because in the champ levé you have borders of gold that separate the colors, and so all these colors are actually drawn by hands, and it's very hard to draw them really straight. It takes 80 hours to draw these colors. So all the enamel is done. It's fired at 800 degrees to achieve the grand feu, so high fire.
Celsius, by the way.
Yes, Celsius, sorry. So I don't know what that does in Fahrenheit.
Don't worry
but
about it. We're not converting it.
And then the gem setter has to gem set over the enamel. So it should not spoil touch the enamel work, else the piece would have to be completely redone. So this piece is meant to be worn as a jewel, and it can be swiveled to tell time, of course.
Stunning. Well, Matthew, thank you so much for this presentation. A lot of great things in front of us, and it's always a treat to sit down with you.
Thank you very much, Teddy.
It's a pleasure. Good seeing you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.